Welcome back, guys. My name's Brian, NY Blade EDC, and today I've got a good one for you. I'm reviewing the Benchmade Mini Bugout. This is the white and black, also known as the Stormtrooper edition. So let's get into the size here. Overall, you got a 6.49-inch knife, great size for a small EDC knife. 3.7-inch handle with a 2.82-inch blade, excuse me. The weight is 1.5 ounces or 42.5 grams for you metric system guys. So let's get into a size comparison. This is a tiny knife, as I just got done saying with the numbers there. We're gonna start off with something decent amount of people have, the Rat 1. Let's get that out of the way. Another one a lot of people have, the PM2. It's one of my favorite knives ever. Move that out of the way as well. Now here's one in the size realm. This is the Little Native from Spyderco. If you line them up here, you got about 3/4 of an inch more with the Mini Bugout. You got about quarter inch to almost a little bit more than a quarter inch, you know, 5/8, or not 5/8, Jesus, I'm measuring wrong. But so you saw the size comparison there. Now we're going to get into aesthetic. Materials that they used are S30V with the DLC blade coating. S30V from Benchmade is very good. They have a good heat treat for it. It holds up very nice. The edge it was a little iffy, but the handle that they use, the material is Grivery, which is basically their equivalent of like an FRN or something. Plastic, lightweight stuff. It's pretty strong. And it can take a beating. But design, I think they did a very good. Obviously the Bugout was a hit with Benchmade, and then they wanted to size it down, and I think they did a very good job with that. They didn't go too small, they didn't go like not small enough. I think they hit the nail on the head with this one. How about that? The ergos, I can fit, if I put my fingers, I can fit 4 fingers there. If I put it in my hand, it's obviously not touching the edge of my hand, but it's not small. And I don't have small hands. I have decent sized hands. But action, this is running on phosphor bronze washers. And when I got this knife, this specific one, it was super gritty. The axis lock was pushing very hard against the tang of the blade, and it was creating a very, very harsh grinding noise. But now it's nice and smooth. I've played with it, broken it in. I contemplated sending it to Benchmade to make sure it wasn't just a QC issue, but it worked itself out. So here we are. I have a very high praise for this knife. It's a very good knife. The thumb studs are very accessible with this knife. It's not too small to get in there and get your thumb. My fat thumb can get in there very easily. You don't even have to get into it. You just on top of it, it flies right open. The thumb studs on this knife, just like the full-size Bugout, very nice. With the lock, you have Benchmade's famous axis lock. There's nothing wrong with it. Obviously, like I said, it had that little gritty action sound going, but worked itself out, so it's not bad. The action, like I said, it's on the phosphor bronze washers, so you pull that axis lock back and it drops shut. And this is a small blade too, very light, very thin blade, and it drops shut. So I've got this one tuned up and dialed in very nicely. Does the trick, you know. So from now on, I have a new rating system. It's out of 100 points. I have 4 categories. Each category is worth 20 points, like I said. Size and practicality of the overall knife. How usable is the blade and the handle as one. The ergos, obviously, they're kind of all muddled together a little bit, but ergos is specifically just focusing on the handle. How does it feel in the hand and all that good stuff. Fit and finish is how did the knife come and how did it break in. With action, obviously, that's a very easy one to understand. And price point. So what I did was I gave them a rating out of 20 for each category, added them up for a cumulative score. So with size, I went with a 15 out of 20 because This little knife is a good size. Some people argue it's too small, but this is my opinion, so I went with a 15 out of 20. They did a very good job with sizing this knife down from the full-size bug out, which I used to have. Sadly, I sold it, but I'm actually enjoying this much more, to be honest with you. But the ergos on it, it's got very simple handle. I mean, there's nothing, doesn't blow your mind. You grip it and rip it. So I think with the ergos, I went with a 12. Obviously, like I just said, it doesn't blow your mind. Doesn't tell you where to put your fingers, so you're not locked in one spot, and it limits where you can hold the knife. You can hold it like food prepping with it. You can hold it where you're gonna cut some rope, do all sorts of things. So it covers all the boxes with the ergos, for me at least. So a 12 out of 20, which is very good for me. Fit and finish, I went with a 12 again. You're getting, sometimes with Benchmade, it's very spotty QC, so like a center blade is rare sometimes with Benchmade, but I got lucky. This one had a good center blade. I did have that gritty action, and that kind of turned me off a little bit, but since it's worked itself out, I went with a 12 again, like I said. For the action, to start off, it had the gritty action, worked itself out, like I just said. I went with a 13 because it's definitely much better. It's flings open, drops shut, and there's no lock stick. So it's just flick it, drop it, flick it, drop it. So that got a 13 out of 20. And now on to price. Price on this is where it really lacks. $136 from Benchmade is rough. This knife should be maximum $100. You can get 90 bucks, $100 would be perfect for this knife. They give you plastic and S30V. Like, come on, Benchmade. It's plastic and S30V, and it's sized down from the original model. So you're giving us a smaller knife, less material, same price. So I went with a 9 out of 20 on this, and I just, like I said, price points on Benchmade's in general are kind of iffy, but 9 out of 20, so add that up, you get 61 out of 100. So 61 out of 100 doesn't sound like a great number, but to me, I think that's good. Anything really around the 50 to 70 range is going to be a majority of knives, because it's a production knife. It's gonna have its flaws, obviously, and not everybody's gonna like everything about a knife. So 61 out of 100, that's overall very good. I want to thank you guys for joining me for this review. If you guys aren't subbed to me, please do so. Leave a like, comment, message me on Instagram. I like to talk to everybody. Thanks again for joining me, and have a great day.